PettyPrattle.com presents the Dirty Talk Podcasts, your podcast home for all things soap. Welcome to Laundry Day for the Young and the Restless, a recap of the Young and the Restless for the month of February 2024. We're your hosts, Angela and Toni. Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
So, if you've seen the Bold and the Beautiful podcast that we just did for Laundry Day, then you probably got a feel for how we're going to be doing this. If not, this is our first go round in podcasting with you. So I hope that you enjoy. We have our amazing Angela here with us today.
And our phenomenal Toni.
Aww.
You're just a delight.
I can't talk for hours with just anybody. You got to be special.
We definitely talk for hours.
Well, we did it personally first. Mm-hmm. And then we decided we should get paid for it. So here come the podcast.
Yes. And let people hear our brilliant takes.
Because, they're so good.
They are. They should be shared far and wide.
Yes. And you should praise us for it. Please come praise us.
And definitely tell your friends to tune in too.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Now, as I mentioned, this is for Young and the Restless. We have our list of all of the main key points that happened in the course of the month. And Young and the Restless, we have a tendency to watch the shows together because some soaps have this thing where they are going to stress you out a lot. And so you need someone to vent with. And then there are the soaps that kind of can drag. And it can be hard to get through. And so having a little partner in crime can make it a little easier.
It really can. And, sometimes we've all been there as soap watchers. You see something happen and you're like, wait, did I just see that? And it's great to have Toni there. So I can pause it and go, you just saw, I saw that too. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And it happens way more than we might like.
Yeah. And it takes us longer to get through soaps than it might take somebody just sitting watching it like a normal person alone in their living room, yada yada. It takes us a while.
Well, partially because we do it for PettyPrattle.com, where you can get all of your spoilers, your daily recaps, your news that you just might need to use on soaps and things like that. We also will be having op-eds there. So, because of that, we have to make sure that we're paying the good heavy duty attention.
Yes. And we're also doing weekly recaps and weekly spoilers and just all kinds. We'll be having some interviews coming up. It's just going to be some great stuff. So definitely check us out at PettyPrattle.com.
True. Now, what I was thinking was because there are kind of two big stories, I figured we would do a small story to start, kind of just to wet our whistle. Then we do a big story. Then we do another small story to kind of like give us a little, time to come down from it. And then we do the other big story. So like a kind of good rhythm.
Yeah.
All right.
Works for me.
So for the first small story, Danny got sick of being the toy that Christine and Phyllis squabble over instead of forcing them into a throuple. Because literally that is what would make this particular triangle entertaining. If either the girls just cut him out of it and took care of it themselves, or the three of them just became a throuple and just stopped stressing poor Danny out.
Yeah. Danny's at the end of his rope with these women.
I get it. I'm sick of them too. Like, I don't even have to date them, and I'm like, I can't do this.
And what's really funny is that, like, he's been at the end of his rope with Phyllis since the day he met her. So this is nothing new for them. And she just takes it in stride. She's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm crazy. I'm a lot. It's okay. I'm fine with it. But Christine just is not used to being in this position with Danny. Him putting her on the same level that
Phyllis is, of
Phyllis
all
is on.
people.
She's just like, how dare you? What?
Isn't it clear the difference here? What are you doing?
Right, exactly.
However, the crazy ones do tend to have the best genitalia.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, you can take that as male, female, or anywhere in between, but the crazy ones seem to know what they're doing when it comes to, we'll say, the romantic arts.
Yes. Well, their crazy spills over, crazy is crazy, you're not getting rid of crazy.
That's true. And it's going to find its way into every part of your life until
Absolutely.
you're ready to end everyone.
Hmm. Absolutely.
But yeah, those three, I've got to say, I think as a younger triangle, they were much more interesting for me. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a writing issue or if they've just aged out of the triangle, or maybe the triangle's being written for when they were younger instead of aging
Grown
up
ass
with men.
people. Yeah. With
Yeah,
grown ass kids and yeah.
yeah. But whatever the reason that it's not working, it's not working. For me.
Yeah, it's
Which is why I'm thinking like either Christine and Phyllis become late night lovers or the trio becomes a throuple and
yeah.
they just settle down together once and for all.
Yeah. And then Christine gets to enjoy the crazy too.
I mean, at least, after she's subjected to the crazy, whether she likes it or not, she
Yeah.
might as well enjoy it.
Get the benefits of the crazy.
Right. At
Exactly.
this point.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, that has not been the case as yet, but hopefully for her, it will change at some
Hmm.
point.
Yep.
So moving into the next big story, um, Nikki went ahead and fired Audra,
Hmm.
and Audra took that as an opportunity to focus on her romantic future with Tucker, and made
Romantic
Tucker
and professional.
romantic and professional future with Tucker,
Hmm.
making him choose between her and Ashley. And Tucker said, "Bye, Ashley." And but that's not the end of where that story went at all.
No.
Because Ashley was adamant that something happened that it seems that no one else in Paris ever saw. Um,
Yeah.
she ended up taking a trip to Gay Paris with Tracy in tow.
Hmm.
They spoke to the waiter who was adamant that no happened on that level. And then Tracy went and spoke to all the other wait staff and other like regular customers, and everyone's like, I don't know what that lady's talking about, but that never happened.
Meanwhile,
Um,
Ashley's calling Tucker in front of
mhm.
the worst green screen of Paris. So bad.
I They've done better, so I don't know
Yeah.
what they were thinking.
Yeah. And accusing him of paying off the waiter
Hmm.
to back up his story because she's just convinced that Tucker was gaslighting her.
Yeah,
And Tucker was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but with Tucker's history,
I mean, it would be almost a reasonable,
mhm,
you know, a assumption, but in this case, it
absolutely.
seems that Tucker really genuinely is being set up for
Hmm.
something he did not do. But they finally all confirmed that everything that Ashley believed was not true, and so she
We're
finally
all
accepts it.
and we're all hearing the voices in her head too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. After
Yeah,
she finally accepts it, the voices become very, very loud.
absolutely. Yeah, Ashley's going crazy.
Yeah, it's giving DID. I
Mm.
think that Y&R is going to have, I believe this is their first DID story. This might be their first DID story. I can't think of another one they've
I
done.
don't know.
They've
No, I
done a
can't
lot of other
either.
crazy stories, but
Yeah.
this, with mental health and things like
Hmm.
that. But I think this may be their first run on a DID story.
Mm.
And if you're going to have somebody anchor it, I think that they've chosen an incredible
Oh,
option with Eileen Davidson because she's phenomenal.
oh God, she can. I mean, she can play anything.
I mean, she could read me the phone book and I'd believe that it was like Shakespeare. It's crazy. She's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
anyway, after they get back to town, Jack and Tracy are like really concerned about Ashley, and this is without being able to hear the voices like we can.
Yeah.
They're more concerned about Tucker's influence and her
Mm-hmm.
falling back under it. And while she's lying to them and letting them think that she's over it and that she's just trying to set things right since she slandered his name, she actually is trying to woo Tucker back from Audra.
Right.
And Audra ain't with the shit. I mean, she's with the
No.
shits, but she ain't with this shit.
No.
Yeah, she seems like
And
she's ready to throw down with Ashley at any given opportunity.
and I thought it was funny because I mean, Audra doesn't know who she's throwing this gauntlet down to. I mean, she
That's
truly
true.
doesn't. Like when she said, I played dirtier than you and I enjoy it more than I should. And Ashley's just looking at her like, oh, little girl, you sweet summer child.
Right? And the thing about it is, I feel like Audra is possibly where Ashley was at Audra's age.
Right.
So like it's not a case of like that she's not capable of getting to Ashley's level. She's just a few years off from it. Like
Exactly.
she just doesn't have those last few years of experience to be going up. However,
Exactly.
Ashley is losing her fucking mind. So that might give Audra a leg up.
Or it might give her a leg, you might put her down way, way, way more rungs because
That's
crazy
true.
has less limits
There is that.
with
That's
playing
the
dirty.
other side of it.
And I mean, come on, Ashley has forgotten more about playing dirty than Audrey even knows.
I mean, it's fair. It's a fair statement. I mean,
Yes.
and we're talking about the old school bombshell with the new school bombshell, and you got
Right.
two of the most stunning women like going head to head. And I'm just gonna say it over fucking Tucker.
See,
Over fucking
this
Tucker.
is where we disagree because
Yeah, I
I
know.
love me some Tucker, and I don't care if I'm alone on this island. I love this Tucker. I do. I think he is. I think he's great. I
Okay.
do.
I mean, I heard it that time. I heard it that time.
Yeah, I know that you don't, and that's
Here's the
okay.
thing.
Different strokes and all that.
Here's the thing. Sometimes I'm more petty than I realize. And like I will get a tone and I won't even catch it sometimes. And
You're like, okay, yeah.
Angela Angela will be like, thanks a lot. I'm like, what did I say? I was trying to kind of keep the peace. And I won't even catch it. Like I'm just that petty.
And but here's the thing. I don't need anyone else to like what I like. I really don't. One, I love debate too much. And
That
two,
part.
I don't know who watches anything for what somebody else likes. I watch for what I like. I think most people do. So I don't get the
Yeah.
whole I need everybody to like what I like thing.
See, my thing has always been as long as we understand each other, we can disagree. Agreeing to
Yeah.
disagree is par for the course. Like, there's going to be a point where we just will not be able to see the exact same perspective
Hmm.
on something, and that's fine. You like Tucker. Tucker is just not that guy for me.
And
He's
that's
just not.
fine. Your cup of tea. Yeah.
But like, I get it that you do that. He worked for
Mhm.
you, and that's
Yeah.
fine with me as long as you're not forcing him on me. And as long as I'm not trying to steal him away from you, I guess
Mhm.
we're 5 by 5, as Faith would say from Buffy.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I feel like this could get really intriguing. Um,
Hmm.
I have to be honest though, I spend about 90% of this story staring at Audra because oh my fucking god, she's just
She really is breathtakingly
stupid
gorgeous.
gorgeous. Like
She really is.
I don't know how Y&R got that lucky. It's crazy. And the thing is, the thing that I was most surprised about, she's actually a good actress. And
Right.
usually with
It's one
people
or the
that
other.
beautiful, yeah. I don't know who she sold her soul to, but she did an absolute bang up job on the contract.
God. Yeah, the Crossroads demon got screwed, let me tell you. Yeah, she is phenomenal, and I like that because Trevor St. John is a good actor. Eileen Davidson, you know what I mean? There are three good actors here in this thing.
Yeah.
And Tucker, my thing with Tucker is that he's lying. I don't think he's purposely lying to Audra. I think he's lying to himself. He's not Ashley. He's not. And Ashley knows it.
And the thing is, I think that Audra suspects it, but she doesn't want to know it.
Well, that's why she keeps questioning him. And that's why she's confronting Ashley. Because
the insecurity.
Knows. Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel it makes me feel bad for Audra because like she genuinely is like heart in her hands for this damn man, and I'm like, he does not deserve my Audra. And I know everybody who's like Ashley fans. I'm an Ashley fan myself, but most of the Ashley fans are like, fuck this Audra. She don't know what the hell she's dealing with. Right. And I'm like, not too much of my baby. I'm sorry. I think Pretty Privilege won this time. I cannot let you be this hard on my Audra. Yeah, I'm a soft spot for her, and I'm gonna cry when she gets her heart broken.
Yeah. And what's funny is that I think she knows, deep down inside she knows, which is why she will not admit that she's in love with him.
Yeah.
And like when Ashley, said, you're in love with, she's like, Tucker and I understand each other. She, talks around it.
Trying to hedge her bets, but her heart has like not followed through with the plan.
Right. Exactly. And, so I think that this is all on a collision course because Tucker is not over Ashley. Ashley is going crazy. And he's not going to be able to stop himself from wanting to help her. And Audra's not going to be okay with that. And it's just going to be a bad scene.
My hope in all of this, and this is probably going to be like a very unpopular opinion. I hope that she manages to take Lasad away from him and that he ends up back with Ashley without the business. Like, because if he can have Ashley or the business, he can't have both. He can't leave my Audra out in the cold like that. Absolutely not. Not that damn bastard. Tucker's not all that to be getting everything. No, he doesn't get to have it all. So I hope that she's able to take the business if she can't have the man that she wants. Because I don't necessarily want him for her anyway. So I'm fine with it. But
yeah,
I digress. But yeah, it looks like, the concern that Jack and Tracy have for her is very well placed or correct, just not in the right place. They're thinking that it's an external issue and it's really internal that they need to be worried about.
And it's funny too, because Diane is just like, look, she's fine. And I'm just like, do you really think that, Diane? Or are you just like, yeah, fuck Ashley?
That's self-absorbed.
Or, just like, knows she's not fine and is just like, screw her for all the shit she did to me.
That's possible. It's absolutely possible that she just does not give a shit and she just wants everyone to think she's fine, so they'll just like stop talking about her. But there's also the aspect that I'm getting off of it, not even that, more like she's that self-absorbed that she doesn't care enough to actually pay attention and see if there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
So if she wants to say she's fine, then she's fine. Leave me alone.
Right.
Like, leave me out of this.
And there's, she has her own turmoil with Kyle.
Yeah.
Being as okay with mommy getting the job he wanted as
he's trying to be.
And, he told her, I had feelings come up about it, but I'm dealing with them. But she just keeps pushing him, and it's going to cause an explosion.
Because she wants him to be over it on her timetable. And that's often a problem that Diane seems to have, where she seems to lack empathy when she needs it the most. And I'm like, ma'am, you want these people to go off on you.
Right.
You want these people to not like you and go off on you. I think you like thirst for the attention that comes from like them not liking you.
Right.
Because why else would you do this?
Oh, I know.
Give him space.
Yeah, it's especially your son. Dude, it's your son.
He already told you what the issue is. He already
Right.
told you that he's working on. If he needs to address it to you or you need to address it to him again in the future,
Right.
do it then. In the meantime, just back off a little bit.
Exactly.
Take off some of the pressure.
Right. He's not conspiring against you to try to get your job.
Mm-hmm. He's just processing his resentment.
Right. Exactly.
And it's 110% natural that he would be somewhat resentful of the situation.
Exactly. Well, he thought Billy was his big impediment. He didn't see,
Mommy Dearest coming.
Mommy Dearest coming. Right. Right.
Yeah. And speaking of not seeing things coming, Victor don't fuck with no Sally. And so he blocked Adam and Nick's proposal to take over or bring Sally's design business into the fold.
Yeah.
And Sally's pissy about the fact that Adam tried to do that behind her back anyway.
Right. But she also wants the opportunity. So
yeah. She wants it, but she wants him to come to her first before
how dare you? But what'd he say?
Right? I'm just like, oh God, girl. I'm not a Sally fan. I have not been a Sally fan. I've been a not Sally fan since like all the way back in Bold and the Beautiful days. Like I have never been down for this Sally. The OG Sally Spectra, you could not make me hate her. But this Sally Spectra, fuck that lady.
Yeah, see, I don't love Sally, but I don't have an issue with her. But I like her with Adam. I hated her with Nick.
I don't like her either way.
Okay.
Like yeah. I feel like the last time I somewhat enjoyed her was when she was at war with Summer, to be honest. I feel like these men are too old for her, which is saying something strange considering the fact that she was also messing around with the possibility of hooking up with Jack at one point, and she had more chemistry with him, who's much older than these two guys. But for some reason, the energy was different with Jack than it is with these two guys. And with these two guys, it makes her feel old in a way that's just, because see, I can dislike a character and still see potential chemistry and like relationship energy, but it's off with both Nick and Adam to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's time for Kyle and Sally to try again.
See, Adam strikes me as much, much younger than Nick, so Adam and Sally work for me better, but
I mean, age-wise, they do work better, but energy-wise, it does not, I don't feel it. Like, it feels weird. It feels like their maturity levels don't seem to match, which is weird because
chemistry's subjective too.
Well, yeah, no, and that's fair. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. I think what I mean by it though is more in terms of like personality chemistry. Like he seems to be just an inkling more mature as a person than she is. She's somewhere stuck in her mid to early 20s and he's in his 30s, and and the personalities like, and the fact that I'm calling Adam Newman mature should be like completely a red flag right now, because what? But still, like, it feels like, I don't know, maybe because he's a father and but there's this like a maturity and this gravitas to her character that is never there. I mean, she went through a whole like loss of a child story and it still never clicked in. And I don't know what it is about Sally or her portrayer that does not click for me.
No,
I don't know.
I don't get that. I don't get immature from her at all. I really don't.
Not to say that she's like completely immature, but like not mature enough for his age bracket.
Yeah, see, honestly, I think his squabbling with Nick makes him and Nick's stuff is like
Agreed.
It makes him seem, him and Nick seem more immature.
I think the reason why it doesn't do that to me is because I can see them as fathers. I can see them as grown adults, lived in experience. And so it comes off more as brothers squabbling rather than just
Yeah.
immaturity.
Yeah.
Whereas with her, for some reason, I feel like she should be in the 20 something set only. Like she does not fit with their grouping
Mm-hmm.
to me. Um, that's been an ongoing issue for me personally. I don't know why I was able to see her with Jack, considering he's so much older than
I
her,
know,
but
right?
I can't with these guys. But then again, Jack's always been able to do the May December thing for me. I don't know what it is about him. She wouldn't
The
be his
one
first or his
thing,
last.
the one thing with Sally and Adam is that
Mm-hmm.
Chloe's her best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and Chloe is never and should never be okay with Adam.
Unless he gets her pregnant.
Yeah. But that's
I still stand by the fact that they should. Chloe and Adam need to have hate sex so that he can give her a baby. And when he gives her a baby, she can forgive him. And they can live happily ever after. Because I know that it will peeve Chelsea off. It will peeve Billy off. It will piss off every freaking body on the canvas, including Nick and Victor and Victoria and Nikki. Everyone will hate everything about it. It's going to bring Kevin back to town. And it's going to stress out everyone involved. And I'm going to love every messy ass moment of it. I want it for my life.
yeah, I just don't think you're getting it though.
That's true. I
You
doubt I'll
know,
get it.
I think
But
this
if I
one is
could,
but absent that, hate sex that produces a child for Chloe, I just don't see her ever
yeah.
being okay with Adam. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's
And that's fine. Like,
hard on
absent
a
my
relationship.
little fantasy moment, then it's 110% reasonable that she will hate him forever.
Oh, God, yeah.
And my thing is, it was just like a sad accident to me what happened. Like, I don't
Right,
blame him because he thought it was the dog and not the
right,
child. And if he'd
right.
known that it was a child, he absolutely would have stopped. I don't believe for 1 second he would have left like he did.
Exactly.
But still, she lost a child because of it.
Right.
So
And,
there's just a part of that that you
mhm.
just can never let go of. So
Oh, God, yeah.
I get why she feels the way she does. I even get the
Right.
way Billy feels about it
Hmm.
to a degree.
Right.
More Chloe than Billy, to be honest, because Billy's irresponsible ass is part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I digress. It is what it is.
This is
But
also
the
where recasts are a problem. I think he's fine as Billy,
uh-huh.
but he's not the Billy we saw mourn that child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the late great Mr. Miller did it so well
Yeah, he was really brilliant in
in that.
expressing grief.
Yes, he truly, it was, just phenomenal work from him. And
We've gotten to see inklings of that from Jason Thompson, and
right,
we can tell that he's got the chops for it. But unfortunately, unless they really let him do flashbacks to that time, I
right,
don't know there's a way to fully integrate him into the character
right, which
with
is why
from
I
the
think,
mourning side of things,
right, that's why I think there's the disconnect there with
his
his
grief.
feelings
Yeah.
over it, because we saw that from somebody else, and it was so spectacular that,
Unless we could see
yeah,
it from him, it's just not ever going to be.
right. And honestly, I don't even know if flashbacks would even do it, just because, I mean, they just hit every beat. It was just, oh God, can't even think about it. It was so good.
Yeah, it that hurt.
Oh God, yeah,
But there seems to be more pain coming the Newman way. This
of
time
course.
Jordan. Um,
Who is just a
Victor,
delicious villain.
oh, she's giving what she's supposed to have. Gave. It
And
is
I
so
mean, she can't
good.
possibly be long term because she's just too evil, but oh God, I'm enjoying the ride.
I feel like she's gonna definitely be. I think that she could end up being Sheila-esque in the sense that she just pops up every so
Keeps
often
popping up every once in a while. Yeah.
to cause trauma and stress.
Hmm.
But yeah, so Claire has been doing really well with the kitties at her, at her insanitarium situation. Um,
Hmm.
but Jordan has made a return. She burned down the prison she was in order to escape, and has
Hmm.
been harassing Nikki until she spiraled and almost fell back into a bottle.
Right. Well, she did spiral and fall back into a bottle.
Did she fall into the bottle? I thought that Jack stopped her before she did.
Well, I mean, she was drinking during that parts of that time, but I guess yeah, he did stop her at the bar.
Okay.
But
Got
yeah,
All right. Her own sponsor, Seth, has been on his own drunken escapade, so he hasn't been able to step up for her.
right.
So who comes to the rescue but Jack?
Much
And
to Diane and Victor's chagrin.
chagrin, because they just gotta love that one.
Yeah.
But more
Yeah.
than that, Victor sucked it up for Nikki's sobriety, and
Hmm.
Jack has become her new sponsor.
Yep.
But while all that is happening, Claire has been working her program and everything like that. And
Hmm.
then Victor started setting a plan in motion for how they're going to take down Jordan because Nikki's plan so far is haven't fallen
Yeah.
apart, done nothing. Like she tried to lure Jordan to Newman Ranch and that died. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
she's already sucking up to Seth, who Nikki freaking had to invite to the Newman Ranch. So now she has a layout of the land because of Seth, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's just
Such a good villain, such a smart villain.
yeah.
Like 10 steps ahead at all times. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, and so we have Victor offering Claire her freedom in exchange for helping him lure Jordan out. And at first, she seemed to be content to sit in that place and stew for a bit longer. But then she decided she wanted to, help her family do the right thing. And in comes Michael, the super lawyer, to get the job done. And that's when we find out that Victor was going to get her out anyway.
And Victoria is very against this plan,
110% against the
even
plan.
suggesting that, she'd cut Claire out completely to keep her safe from this plan.
Yes. Yes.
And Cole's not on board with the plan either, but
He gets on board when it becomes clear that Claire's going to do it with or without them.
right.
And so does Victoria, but
And so does
Victoria said
Victoria.
she's going to do the ground rule thing with Victor. And I'm like, I don't know how all of that's going to go.
Again with the sweet summer child.
Right?
Only she should know better.
She should, of anyone in this scenario.
Yeah.
He should know better than any. Like, I know him better than you. You shouldn't trust him. But I'm gonna relate ground rules, baby. How you just said you know him.
Yeah,
You
right.
just said you know him, ma'am. Please
Right.
gather yourself.
Right. Exactly. Victor's just like, yeah. Anyway, just
He's
as
just
I was saying,
yeah. He's
this is
just
how it's
gonna
gonna
work.
go.
Yeah, he's gonna continue to. He's gonna pretend like he's reworking it for your benefit, and then in the end, do exactly what the hell he wants to do.
Exactly.
I mean,
Isn't
unless
that
you
what we
give him,
love about Victor?
that's true.
That and how he calls Nikki my baby.
Okay, I don't mind that part, but that's not my favorite part. I just like that he's a final boss.
He is.
You know, when you can get through any other Newman in the family, you can't get through the final boss.
No.
That's the level that's just a little too hard for everybody.
He is if I taught you everything you know, not everything I know was a person.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Yes.
don't know why his children have to continue to learn this lesson over and over and over again.
Really and truly, I have no clue.
I mean, honestly, he's like,
Maybe
you're making it too easy. Challenge me a bit.
we love Victor
I
and we
mean,
love Eric
seriously, he could
Braeden.
deliver them a package that says Acme on the side, and those assholes are going to open it. That open the peanut can with the snake in it. He's just like, I mean, like, it's funny.
It is,
Yeah,
but it's a mess and we love them anyway.
it's great soapy mess.
It is.
Although this is our very first Young and the Restless podcast, and I
Mm-hmm.
have to say, my mantra about Young and the Restless: we need a little bit more young in this Young and the Restless, or any young whatsoever.
That's why I am 10 tones down for my Audra. She's
Yeah,
all the young I got.
like seriously, and she's in her 30s.
I don't care what she's magical. She could be in her 80s and I wouldn't care.
She is magical, but I'm saying we need a younger set.
Yeah.
And it has to be more than just, I mean, even Summer isn't, I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
They need to sore ass a few of these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the little actors, but we need them, you know, this summer they need to be graduating from high school and be causing some mess around town. That's just, I mean, I doubt I'm getting it, but that's what I would like.
You're not wrong.
So, yeah.
But we definitely need a healthy infusion of young.
Hmm. Yes. And I mean, the parent trapping going on with Danielle and Heather. Yeah, yeah, whatever. But I want her older and causing more mess.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of causing mess, and once again not being young, we have a war for the Chancellor Winters um house brewing
Well,
between Team Mamie and
and
Team
Team
Jill.
Jill.
Mm-hmm. And
And
as this is all happening, Chance and Summer are falling for each other, or have fallen for each other.
and Billy is inadvertently pushing Chance towards Team Mamie.
He is
And Mama ain't gonna be happy.
at all. Mm-mm.
And for all the fights to have, I don't know why they're going so hard on this whole add the Abbott name and have it be first thing.
It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Jabot is the Abbott company.
right,
Chancellor Winters is supposed to reflect the Chancellor family and the Winters family. Abbotts
right.
don't need to be in charge of everything. Do you think you're the Newmans now? Has he been fighting against Victor Newman so long that he's trying to turn into him?
Maybe.
And I say that for a reason because Billy has, I don't know what it is about Jason Thompson, but he started to take on some of the mannerisms of Eric Braeden.
And
And then add this storyline, and it's like, are you trying to make him the next Eric Braeden? Because what is happening right in front of my face right
right,
now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think anybody asked for that, but yeah, it's just
I agree that no one asked for it. I'm not like having an opinion on it one way or the other. I'm just baffled by it in
right,
general.
exactly. But it's just so weird that this is the hill they want to die on, and Jill really wants this to happen. Really? Now Jill cares about this? She's been involved in this company for how long? I don't know. It just seemed like a crazy thing to hang their hat on.
That, and it's really frustrating to me that they went through with this merger in the first place
Mm,
and took away the black owned, black funded, black founded company, the only one in Y&R's history,
right.
and then had it swallowed up by Chancellor,
Yeah.
only to then try to add a whole other white person's
Yeah.
family legacy to the top of it and give third billing now to the
Right.
Winters family. And I'm like, the Winters are just as important as the Chancellors and the Abbotts to this freaking town and to like the legacy of these companies, more so in many
Hmm.
ways. And you trying to come in and just erase all that shit is gross.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I love me some Jill, of course, but
Yeah.
I'm Team Mamie.
Yeah. On this one, it's really bizarre what they have Jill fighting for right now. But
Yeah,
the way they have her fighting for it, I can't help but be Team Mamie. And
and
Mamie has annoyed the hell out of me on more than one occasion.
and I mean, maybe it would be different if it was actually Jill here fighting for it. Because I think this
No.
war would be a whole lot more I mean, not that I think that I'd be on Jill's side, but I think Team Mamie versus Team Jill would be better if, they were both here on the front lines of that battle.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
You know what I
But
mean? Because they both
mhm.
the actresses are dynamic together. The history and
Mhm.
is delicious between them.
Mhm.
So I'd rather see them duking it out than Billy and Devon, or at least alongside Billy and Devon.
Agreed.
Can you imagine them both fighting over an office?
Mhm.
Because it's the best office.
Oh.
And then Esther puts a partner's desk in there. Are you okay, Toni?
Oh, I went down the wrong pipe because
I was
that's
gonna say, I think I might have
hilarious.
killed her, guys.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, right now it just seems like Team Jill is being petty.
Right. Right.
And that's really annoying. Because like if you're gonna have the feud over something that matters,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And now, like you said, they're pushing Chance towards the other team because he's also seeing that they're being petty about stupid shit, like with his little festival thing.
Yeah, and Billy's just completely talking down to him and being Billy. Yeah, he's just being such a condescending ass. And Billy's against the festival because Devon's for it. It's just like,
Exactly. And I'm like, it doesn't even need to be that deep. At least save your
right,
objections for stuff that deserve it.
right, exactly. Yeah, I don't, we're both Team Mamie, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Although I am happy to see Amanda back.
Well, speaking of beautiful women,
Do you think that after things blow up with Audra and Tucker, that Amanda and Audra could hook up
I
one?
knew you were going there.
I'm sorry, they're so pretty. pretty and so dynamic. And I want to see them wake up with Audra's head on Amanda's chest and all that lush hair covering her other chesticle. And it's just an image that we all deserve in this life. It's so pretty. The pretty is overwhelming.
The pretty is overwhelming. And they would be a dynamic super couple. Talk about a lesbian power couple.
Mm-hmm. So good.
You know, Audra's business acumen and Amanda's legal eagle mind. They could take over the world. They'd be running Newman, Jabot, and Chancellor Winters together.
And then having the hottest sex scenes of all time. Like, it would just be win on top of win on top of win on top of win.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot lesbians, we also have Taraya.
We do. Although, as usual, we never have enough Taraya.
And the thing is, they don't have a story. Like, when they just had them randomly talking about her new job, I was just like,
Yeah.
Can we like actually make a story out of this now?
Well, I mean,
either that or just go find a like room that you guys can bang in or something. Like,
I mean, even when they have a story, they don't show it. Like their adoption story, and they, yeah, it's
aggravating,
disappointing, quite frankly. You know, because they were a natural, wonderful, you know, coming together, and yeah, and they don't do enough with them, and it's
frustrating.
it is, because it's, I think you used this term earlier when we were talking about something else, low hanging fruit. It's, there are so many, you know, dynamics they could bring into this to make it just such a great story with them. And instead, they just trot them out every once in a while for their obligatory appearance on screen, and then, yeah, it's.
I want to see them raising their child. I want to see, you know, them still having angst with Abby over the way things went down with the baby. I want to see, you know, how they interact with the baby now that they don't really have as much interaction with it as they used to. I want to see, are they going to end up raising them as siblings anyway?
Right.
These are all the kind of things I would love to see from them. I like to see angst over the new job. Like, maybe the hours are a lot longer than they anticipated.
Right.
And now, you know, Mariah's having to take over more of the mom side of things than she originally planned.
Right.
And we're trying to see how they work that out and how they, you know, I want to see them as a couple experience things.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Disagree, you know, angst over decisions for their daughter because they think different things. You know, I mean, natural couple things. They, you know, these, again, two phenomenal actors, great chemistry, and just
girly.
A story waiting to be told. And for some reason, Josh is just not telling it.
It's frustrating. It feels like they're taunting us with them at this point.
And, you know, a lot of fan bases across the soap fandom, you know, don't feel that their couple or pairing are getting enough or being, you know, treated fairly. But, and a lot of the times I roll my eyes at it, but not with this fan base. This fan base is totally getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop.
Ain't that the truth?
And it's just disappointing on so many levels. And
I mean, because you have a long-standing lesbian couple, you should be able to trot that out with pride. But then when you look at the way they actually use them, it seems like they're baiting the fan base with them. It's queer baiting almost, like just using them to say, look here, we like, you know, LGBTQ people.
Yeah.
And then taking it all away.
Right. Like a token. It's token.
A token. Perfect example.
Checking a box.
110%.
Yeah.
And it feels like that happens more and more on Young and the Restless as time goes on, and it's sucking the drama and the fun out of the show in a lot of ways.
You know, Josh has had some good storytelling, and the Jordan
Yes.
storyline is phenomenal. It really is,
Impeccable.
without a doubt.
Impeccable.
I think he's done. I think, I don't think, I'm not saying he should never write, he should never. I think
He's
soap
done all
head
that he can
writers,
do by himself.
exactly. Well, one, he's doing everything by himself, too. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. And nobody should be doing that. One, nobody should be head writer and executive producer and be pretty much the souls in both of those. And then he gets rid of the breakdown writers, which is just insanity.
Yeah.
Um, so that's even more to do, which absolutely insane. But head writers just, and it's the same with executive producers. They can't stay too long at the table of soaps. They can't. It's too much. There's too much work, too much content they have to create to stay fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that there just needs to be a change every at least 4 years. And they can alternate executive producer, head writer, 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
every 2 years, there one of them gets changed. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would make it so much fresher. And not to mention, don't even get me on the soapbox about how more of these powers that be need to be women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
any
at least it needs to
powers
be a
that.
split,
Yeah, yeah.
at
Um,
bare minimum.
right. Um, but yeah, I think he's been too long at the Y&R table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe him and Ron can switch places.
You know who I would like to see over there?
Mm.
Michelle Valjean. I
Um,
would be curious to see what she could do with Young and the Restless
mhm.
because she has
I
a
wouldn't
very interesting perspective.
I wouldn't be against that. I have a feeling she's headed to upstate New York.
Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if we're
Right.
just spitballing, I would be interested to see what she could do with a
Hmm.
show like Young and the Restless.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Because she's absolutely got a point of view and it's a really interesting one. And I
Hmm.
just would be, I feel like she could do some fun things with characters on that show. Also, I need my Sharon Case to have a story. Like, what in the hell is wrong with you people that my Sharon Case doesn't have a story?
Yeah, it's
And you keep doing it. You keep teasing us with the possibility of her having a story in order to get us watching. And then we find out that it's just an episode or two
yeah,
and
it's
back into the
it's
back corner of Crimson Lights and we never see her again.
it's just baffling. It really is. I mean,
Because they have such a phenomenal cast.
yeah. And their cast isn't even, like GH, their cast is bloated.
Mm-hmm.
So but it's not like Y&R can't make room for Sharon to have
Mm-hmm.
a story, for Taraya to have a story. They can
Yes.
without shortchanging anybody else.
Agreed.
Because they do have a lot of filler crap that,
Yeah.
you know,
That's because of the fact that he is so limited in who he has available to write for him.
which is a self-inflicted wound
Yeah. And should have
entirely.
gotten and should have gotten someone looking at the situation a lot sooner because of it. Like
Right,
when that happened, that should have been like a red flag that okay, some
right,
changes need to happen here. Because no one should feel comfortable just doing that.
right. And I mean, I'm hopeful that the 4 year extension, the 4 year renewal means a change will be coming. I'm hoping that
Mm-hmm.
there was a stipulation with that, but I have a bad feeling with him winning that writing Emmy, which
And
I
what
don't
did he win
understand
it
how
for
he
though?
won it.
What could he have possibly won it for?
I have no idea. I don't know what Y&R submitted, so I guess we can look into that. But I mean, it wasn't the Jordan stuff because it was, so I don't know.
Because by
I
that
just
point, he hadn't really done anything. The
no
Jordan story is the freshest thing he's done in years.
years. Right, exactly. In absolute years. And uh, yeah, I don't
So if it got him a nod this year, I'd be like, okay, absolutely, yeah.
right. Yeah, I could see. I have no idea. And it's just did he win it because the writing everywhere else they just were like, yeah, this is just so atrocious. Let's just find out. Let's just pick the least bad. And
This,
even then, I'm not sure that the right choice was made, but I'm just hoping that that doesn't keep them from writing the ship.
yeah. I mean, something needs to change
Yes.
because there are moments of brilliance, like the Ashley story, like the Jordan
Yeah.
story, but it's surrounded by so much mess.
And it's just, and
And
here's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
need to be this way.
It's funny because the two stories that are really hitting are the
Mhm.
ones that are so soapy. But for reasons passing understanding, Josh just wants he thinks that we want to see corporate infighting, endless and nobody tunes into soaps for that. Nobody.
No,
Nobody.
it's really true.
It's just and it's not like it's just littered here and there. I mean, there's times that are just dominated by it and it's just exhausting. We're tired,
And,
Josh. We're tired.
and the thing about it is, even TV shows where it is a corporate drama don't only do corporate drama.
Right.
They have moments where they're like the interpersonal relationships between people, what's going on at home with these people who come into work all the time. You
Right.
know, what about this particular lawsuit that happened that's not necessarily about the internal corporate suit, but like someone is suing the company, you
Right.
know, us against the outsiders kind of thing. Like it
Yeah.
can't always be
Just
civil war inside a
right.
freaking boardroom.
Exactly. It's I don't know. Is he watching too much Succession? I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, but
I'm sorry, if he's watching Succession, then he's not learning the right things from it.
well, yeah, but I don't know what the problem is, but it desperately needs a fix. But that Emmy works against us, and so do the
Mm-hmm.
ratings because Y&R is top. But the reason they're top in the Nielsen's.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't think they're top overall because I don't think they do as well on streaming as GH does. But that's a whole different podcast and conversation. But they're top in the Nielsen's, which also works against us, which
Mm-hmm.
I just even if, you know, they just told Josh, you have to get breakdown writers and you can be executive producer or you can be head writer, you just can't be both. So he'd at least have to pay more attention somewhere. And I think he'd definitely pick executive producer, but then they'd need a really strong head writer who had some autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't just be treating them as a breakdown writer while he was shadow head writing, which is a hard needle to thread.
It
So
really is.
the easiest thing is to just move him along and get a new executive producer and a new head writer that are not the same person.
But now that you've mentioned it, Ron Carlivati That is an interesting idea for Young and the Restless.
Yeah,
But I
he
don't want Josh
definitely
Griffin
bring.
on days. I don't think that he can do campy.
I agree. I was just saying, the
But yeah,
man.
I know.
I'm not saying I don't want the man, having to be out on the street. You know,
Yeah,
um, but I think Ron could be fun.
yeah.
Young and the Restless could use
Camp.
a little bit of camp. Yeah, I mean, and it could withstand, an onslaught of camp because there's just so little soap on that soap.
Yeah.
It would be a
It's
while
very
before Ron
dry.
was overdoing it.
It's very, very,
Yeah.
very, very dry. Ron works really well at days because, he can bring the mess and the drama and the camp.
Right.
He worked well at GH for a while until he did a little too well with bringing the drama and the camp. But he managed to do it while also striking a serious tone when he needed to,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I think that he absolutely could handle Young and the
Right.
Restless.
Exactly. I agree. I agree
And
completely.
I feel like it would be interesting to see him take on Young and the Restless with Josh, because I feel like he's possibly a strong enough hand
Yes.
that he would not be so easily overridden.
Yeah. Absolutely.
However, I just don't know who we would put at days. And I do not necessarily want to put that lady back over there
Yeah.
because she did not handle camp well.
Mm.
That was my that was definitely my biggest issue with her.
What about
She took it too seriously.
what about Jamie?
Ooh, Giddens. Just move him up the chain. I think Jamie could be a fantastic choice. Just seeing what he did with Sisters was a lot of fun.
I think that Jamie Giddens could be an amazing
Yes, I
head writer
agree.
for days.
I agree.
So,
And then if we could maybe just get him a woman partner
mhm. Although, I
to
mean,
keep the
Days has
balance.
the woman EP now, so
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good
yeah,
balance then.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So that would be our solution. Send
Move Ron,
Parlavati to head right over at Young and the Restless,
Young and the Restless. Josh can
and then
stay EP for now and
and
see how
then
that works, and then promote Jamie to head writer on Days.
I like it. I like it.
So
I
it
feel
be
like it's
written,
going to give the
so
right
it be
kind
done.
of balance.
Yeah,
If only we ran things.
I know, right? When are they going to let us run the world?
It should
Ugh,
be our turn.
right? And we're not like we want to be in charge of everything, just soaps.
We don't.
I-
I mean, I
It
was
seems like an
talking about
obvious answer to me, is all I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just questioning about the don't want to run everything because like we don't.
Well, I mean, we want to run everything, but we'll take the compromise of just running this for now.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, I
Once
can.
we
I can.
fix soaps, we can move on to the next things.
Okay,
And
fair
we've
enough.
solved 3/4 of the problem right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy peasy.
Yeah. And we already know the fix. There's only one thing really that I think GH still needs to do, but that's a whole other podcast, which probably would never see the light of day, but it's okay.
Do, 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 do.
All right. Well, I think we have covered February. What do you think?
I think so too. That seemed to go by so fast.
I know.
I feel
But
like we took longer
it's
on
just
both.
such a joy talking to you that it seems like no time has passed at all.
Aw, I love you too, friend. But oh, okay. But no, I feel like we hit everything we need to hit on Young and the Restless.
Hmm.
I am because of the Jordan story and the Ashley story, I think those are the two things I'm looking forward to most in the
Same.
next month. And the same for you.
Absolutely.
Also, Audra being goddamn gorgeous, Amanda being ridiculously beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Those are I look forward to Pretty Taraya showing up, but I would like to look forward to them having a story from my lips, right?
To
Like,
Josh's ears, keyboard, everything else. Yes.
yes. But here's hoping. We'd love to hear back from you as to what you guys would be interested in seeing as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Petty Prattle Podcast, all the caps on P's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So you can either join free or you can do the $5 membership. If you do the $5 membership, you get day early access to content. We're going to also be doing special patron only podcasts and things like that along the way. So you'll be able to get shout outs and love and all that kind of thing from our podcast. And then
Yes.
there's also the website, right, Angie?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Head on over to pettyprattle.com where you can get your daily and weekly spoilers for all your soaps and your daily and weekly recaps, as well as all your soap news. We have some fun op-eds coming your way, weekly polls, and all kinds of great content.
Yep. So you'll be getting everything you need from us between our different accounts. And, we love to interact. So definitely hit us up sometime. But in the end, this has been Angela and Toni for the Dirty Talk Soaps Laundry Day for Young and the Restless, February 2024. We want to thank you so much for coming and listening, and I hope that you will be taking the ride with us for our weekly and monthly podcasts again in the future. But until then, bye.
Bye.